So around a year ago, Formula E took Mr. Beast, if you're on this platform you've probably heard of him, and stuck him in one of their cars. That went, well, about as well as you could expect. This was all part of a big test for the series, to see what would happen if you put normal people behind the wheel of a 200-mile-an-hour race car. And by normal people, of course, I mean the likes of Brooklyn Beckham, Sergio Aguero, and Draco Malfoy.
You couldn't hear me in the helmet, but there were lots of screaming of pleasure.
Alright, mate, don't think we needed to know that bit. All in all though, the 49,000 views aside, this was deemed a success, which meant it was time to go even bigger in 2026. What does that mean? Well, one step down the intelligence ladder, from celebrities to YouTubers. Actually, hang on a minute.
The world has gone completely mad. Well, Formula E have definitely lost their mind.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
This is where you can watch me go round and round in circles and not crash into a wall.
Deep, into the wall!
So, how the hell was all this going to work? Because at the end of the day, the sport wasn't really going to put 10 content creators on the same bit of racetrack. The insurance premium for that is probably more than my student loan after 5 minutes. Instead, drivers would get a quarter of an hour each to set the fastest qualifying time. That lineup dictating the order in which they'd go out in head-to-head duels to score points for their team. Speaking of teams, I suppose we should introduce these guys as well. On one side, you've got Senor Frogs. Okay, sure, led by team principal and advocate for turkey holidays, Cal Freezy. His hairline's too afraid to put a helmet on, so here's who he had doing his dirty work for him. Burnt Chip makes up the real leader of that team and is probably one of the more experienced of the group. If you take experience, there's some 24-hour go-kart races and the mullet like Porridge Man here. Alongside him is founder of Ozempic, Ethan Bazinga.
I don't know if I've got the biggest balls, but I think my balls work the most.
A true inspiration for me is a man who's able to lose fat and grow a full beard, which is exactly why I've just shaved mine off. Will joins this diverse cast as a member of the Minecraft community, though just because he has a chin like David Coulthard doesn't necessarily mean he'll be as fast on the racetrack. Then you've got Arthur TV, I'm not gonna lie, I've never f***ing heard of. And finally, Izzy Hammond, daughter of Top Gear legend Richard, and
Deep, into the wall!
And we'll get back to the family tradition later. The Senor Frogs will be up against Vic Stars, Quick Stars. Yeah, that's really what they went with. Heading up the Quick Stars will be French viral sensation Cabby Lame, made famous for sticking his hands out at things, which, come to think of it, is all you need to go viral in the 2020s by the looks of it. Next up is Max Klemenko, host of the Career Ladder, which is why you probably only recognise the side of his face, and rather excited to be giving the series a go. Cheers, I think I've got tinnitus now. Fitness creator, probably why I haven't heard of him, Stan Brownie joins the lineup and took the look like a massive bell-end pose incredibly seriously, and topping the team off is Amelia Hartford and Yuka, both famous for their automotive content, so let's hope none of that comes back to bite them whatsoever. Because where would you choose to do this? Maybe somewhere with some runoff, or somewhere relatively easy? Oh, no, hang on. They're off to Jeddah. Yeah, that can't go wrong, can it? This is one of the fastest, most dangerous circuits in the world, where the walls are never that far away, and the only thing more lethal than the layout itself are the bombs dropped on it by Yemen every now and then. It's almost as if Formula E were asking for an international incident. I mean, they might as well have just spread rumours these content creators have been roaming around showing too much skin, and live stream their public stoning for entertainment. Actually, I feel like some people might have preferred that. Now, normally, you'd expect drivers to be allowed some practice, but these creators were apparently more than well equipped after a few laps in the simulator, just to jump straight into qualifying. That's soon turning out about as well as one might expect. Chip set the bar high with a solid effort in the Jaguar to kick things off. The following Senor Frogs doing their best to leap over him at the top of the timing sheets. That went better for some than others. Bazinga ended the day with the fastest overall time, while the likes of Will and E may like flat things, as heads made up of 4 of them, though got a bit too close at one point in his Mahindra. Joel Eriksson had some insightful advice for Arthur TV, who elected to promptly ignore it, and spins like that with the theme of the day once the Quick Stars rolled onto the track. Brownie and Lame both found alternatives for using their rear-view mirrors. Max Klemenko, the first to keep things pointing in the right direction, though traded that for being 38 seconds off the pace.
2 minutes? 2 minutes?
I think we finally found a replacement for this meme.
If I'm not 16th!
Amelia Hartford put in a solid lap, but was only good enough for 6th, leaving the Quick Star's only hope in fellow automotive enthusiast Yuka, who was looking very quick. Well, before he did this, I think Bazinga needs to work on his poker face a little bit. That meant the qualifying leaderboard ended up looking something like this. Ethan on top, ahead of Yuka and Chip, who both apparently are identical twins now, and I'm not going to lie, I don't think that's either of them. After some great coaching by Karun Chandok,
Just for future reference, when there's a corner, turn.
it was time to head into the quarterfinals. Well, for 7 of the drivers anyway. Yuka's car was being taken to the morgue, while Max and Brownie would be competing in a separate wooden spoon category, which ironically guaranteed the Quick Stars the maximum 5 points because this was an incredibly thought out plan, wasn't it? Anyway, before all that were the quarterfinals, being kicked off with Cabby Lame versus Actually, I've already forgotten. As the Nissan team watched with all the confidence in the world, Lane was actually quick. To work out straight line the chicane was much easier than taking the actual corner. That meant Bazinga just had to cruise around to take home the win for the Senior Frogs, with a second confirmed victory coming up right after. Izzy Hammond, the lone competitor, as you could watch from the sidelines. All she had to do was complete a flying lap and she'd be through.
I was hearing a bit of tyres chirping there.
Deep.
Oh, and into the wall! That's a big off for Izzy Hammond and she crashes out.
Oh dear. Though I think it's horrible that people online would go straight to the woman driver comments. And it's even more despicable that you'd think I'd go that low myself. But come on, what were they even thinking? She's a Hammond. Crashing's practically a personality trait for that lot.
Hammond's lap's going well.
Yeah, isn't it?
So as team principal Mark Preston pondered his life choices, we were all left with a lengthy red flag to clear up the debris. Ah shit, that means we need one of these, doesn't it?
For Senior Frogs, for Cal Freezy, the team principal.
Yeah, I get he's got a shit hairline, mate, but that's not Cal Freezy. So with this still somehow being clocked as a win for Hammond, it was on to the next quarter-final. This one between Chip and Amelia Hartford. The person who came third in quali versus the person who came sixth. Gee, I wonder who's going to win this one. Well, the subsequent showing from Hartford would probably tell me to go f*** myself, as she laid down a respectable benchmark of a 1:32.1. Chip was there or thereabouts, but constantly behind over the first 2 sections of the lap, snatching that time back in the final chicane to make it 3-0 for the Senior Frogs, in content that I actually can't be sarcastic about, as it was pretty damn good. I'm a little afraid I'm actually enjoying this a bit. Can we do it next year, but with Minecraft YouTubers turn sex offenders and make them drive straight off a cliff? The last quarter-final will be between two Senior Frogs, Arthur TV going up against Will and E. The Envision driver heading out first and actually looking pretty damn quick. Oh, actually had it on 2 times speed, never mind.
I'm also seeing a lot of love for Will and E. Will and E looking Lang. Do you know what Lang means?
No, not a clue.
Arthur would clock in a 1:49 and then decide he was done for the day, as Will and E got ready to best that, warming up his tyres, which Eduardo Mortara found very funny for some reason. Hey, maybe if you'd done that, you wouldn't have done this. In fairness, that worked fairly well, 12 seconds faster than Arthur, and onto the semis, which themselves would start with Bazinga versus, well, not Izzy Hammond anymore. Deciding against a repeat of that, Bazinga was allowed straight into the final duel, his competitor being one of either Will and E for the Senior Frogs or Chip for the Senior Frogs. Yeah, I wonder which team's going to win this one. Well, not Will and E as it turns out, after what was described as an interesting first sector by secret father David Coulthard, the Mahindra driver would forget about the final straight as he trundled over the line. That meant all Chip had to do was not do an Izzy Hammond, and he'd be through to the final. As it happened, this was all gamesmanship from Will and E, as the Senior Frogs had decided to put double points on Chip if he came across the line victorious, news that quite clearly hadn't reached the Mahindra side of the garage. That's 13-0 for the Senior Frogs then, though that gap could be about to be brought right down, as it's time for the wooden spoon race, or the race not to be the shittest driver of them all. The big question here wouldn't be the winner of this one, but more whether Max Klemenko could get round the Jeddah circuit in under 2 minutes.
So is this a warm-up lap?
No, this is actually
real. This is real
flying lap.
Okay.
In the end, fair play to Max. He went 4 seconds quicker than his qualifying effort. It was still over 2 minutes though. Brownie would take that win then, handing the wooden spoon to Klemenko and double points to shake the scoreboard up. Oh, never mind, Vicstar gave it to Hartford instead, who got double 0. I don't think this guy's coming back, is he? Not that the Quick Stars could have won anyway, as the grand final would give a guaranteed 5 points to the Senior Frogs. So now it was just down to bragging rights. Chip versus Bazinga. Ethan would go out first, with Google Gemini predicting the lap would be around a 1:26.5, which is f***ing optimistic, isn't it? Shockingly enough, would be nowhere close to that with Bez's run, but a 1:28.6 was the fastest of the night. And now Chip had it all to do with one final lap to decide it all. It was a scrappy first sector, but we've got to remember these are content creators, which means despite that, the Jaguar driver was still on top. The pressure began to pile up over the lap, however, and what was once a second advantage slowly ticked down over the final couple of chicanes. With one last straight to go, Chip floored it and took home P1 by just 0.4 of a second. Damn, you know what? Fair play. That was more exciting than I thought it was going to be. I went into this video then, expecting to be a sarcastic little shit as per usual and make vacuum cleaner jokes all day, but in the end, actually, fair play, Formula E. That was pretty bloody good. And it seems that the racing world agreed. 49,000 views on last year's highlights reel, while the 2026 livestream currently sits at 5.8 million. Big ups to Formula E then. That's not a sentence I ever expected to write into a script, I can't lie. It thus begs the question, how do we get bigger next year? And look, just saying, I could make myself available if you really want me to be. Let me know what you thought of it all down in the comments below, and if you're still here, you probably enjoyed the video, so a like wouldn't go amiss either. And if you are new, well, this could be the only time this fat man ever appears on your feed, so why not get subscribed? It's free and only further fuels my ego. If you want to go one step further than that, my Patreon and members links down in the description as well. They get early access and exclusive content over there, so plenty to sink your wonderful teeth into. Anyway, I'm off to go play with my own Formula E car, so until next time then, f*** off.